Hey, welcome to episode 4 of the Seconds Out podcast. So today we'll actually be talking about keeping things simple, Very often in life, the simplest things are the most important things, and that translates into sports in general and combat sports. The most important punch is the jab. The most important kick in taekwondo is the front kick, the simplest, the first kick that you learn. So I guess also it comes from forming a solid base, having a very simple solid foundation that is they develop over the years. So like one of the quotes that I saw from Bruce Lee is you fear the person you don't fear the person who knows 1,000 kicks but who does one kick 1,000 times. So I think
Mm,
applicable in the realm of sports in general. But Lucas, I think, has uh, a sharing, about his first fight and how, he got taught that keeping it simple is the key going forward.
yeah, I guess right, like back to your, I'm just gonna reiterate your point. Like when it comes to like keeping it simple. Like when people say like simple stuff, right? Simple is very easy to hear, to take in. It's common knowledge, but it's hard to put into practice. A lot of people always hear, or always hear the simple things in life or whatever, but like people are accustomed to hearing it, but they don't actually preach it like they want to. Yeah, people often neglect the basics. That's what I'm saying. And I think that can be said, I guess to a certain extent in my first fight, where when I fought my opponent, I would say that my footwork was pretty balanced, but I lacked the most basic punch, which was the jab. I could have thrown my jab a lot more. Yeah. So the jab was very important. Uh, in terms of finding your range, in terms of we actually have an article on that too, just
Yeah,
to point out.
super deadly.
Mm. So the jab is very important because it helps you to gauge distance, right? And distance is not something you can gauge with your feet, right? You actually have to touch your opponent to with your jab, right? To know how far your cross, which is your right hand, can how far you need the distance you need for your cross to land. Yeah, it's to help you to gauge distance. It's also used as a means to set up your combinations, right? So when it comes to punching, like throwing multiple punches, right? A lot of people like to throw those giant haymakers, those right hand. They think they can cause big damage with that one right hand. But big damage, right, has to be set up with probes, with light probes. Yeah, and that's where the jab comes in. I think that's my biggest takeaway from my first fight. The importance of the jab, even up to now, I would say. Mm, yeah. What about you? What's your take on basics and simplicity?
Uh, I think basics are very, very important. Coming from a background in Taekwondo, every lesson starts with the basics. We are always going through the same 16, 17 motions. It was the front kick, side kick, back kick. Uh, Probably do it hundreds and hundreds of time per training session over many, many years. And sometimes you do wonder why you're doing this again and again and again and again. But it's really simple. It's really just to ingrain in the brain the the mechanics, the muscle reflexes, and you can unleash the move uh without even thinking about it. So I think that's what keeping it simple and keeping it basic, going through the basics again and again and again. That's why it's so important. And also
Yeah.
one time I actually noticed the importance of repetition and mastering the basics is when I was in my second year of taekwondo. I
Mm.
was out with my dad. Then my dad, likes to throw, random punches at me. So he did it, and then I blocked it, and it was the moment I I didn't even think about it. It was like a natural movement. So
Ah,
it was like the
you
moment where like, wow, I know kung fu, you know. Like it was the jacket on, jacket off kind of thing. So
jacket on, jacket off, 小 Dre.
yeah, bro. Like I like in my life I never could have, blocked or countered or whatever, but it was that moment that I realized, basics are really, really, really important, and that's why we do it every session. And I think that kind of bleeds into boxing as well.
Like drill it into muscle memory lah. I tell you that one saying, I always say this, drill it into muscle memory. Drill it until like the next time you start shadow boxing, the next time you start moving in your stance, right? You are very comfortable in it. Be comfortable in your stance. I would like to think that like when it comes to keeping it simple, a good way to see it lah for boxing especially in boxing lah, because yours is taekwondo, right? I feel like every martial arts there's a certain way to start it off, start the ball rolling, right?
Yep.
For boxing, is definitely going to be the footwork. Your feet comes before, even before the jab. All right, your feet comes first, right? Learning to walk, to move comfortably in your stance, right, is something that I feel like many people neglect. Like people always, now you know the saying where you 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 run before you can walk, you're gonna fall
Mm.
clearly. Like same thing can be applied to your boxing stance, to your movements. I'm sure like whoever is listening right to this podcast and who has like heard me say it like in real life, like like be comfortable in your stance, right? Maintain your boxing stance. Very simple things, right? Shoulder width apart, right? Your legs not too close together. Keep your knees bent, right? Make sure that every time you move to a certain direction, right, you want to bring that leg closest to that direction first. Simple things like that, where you
I
don't cross your
completely
leg.
agree. Yeah. Even in
Mm.
Taekwondo, the first lesson, it's all about footwork. It's all about where the placement of your feet
Yeah.
you move.
Mm.
It's the most important thing. That's where all the power comes from.
Because you don't normally in life you don't walk normally. You don't walk in your boxing stance,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Your body needs to adjust. Your body needs to feel it, to know it. Yeah, that's why. Slowly from there lah, I feel. Slowly from your legs, you go up, you know, you go up the body where your arms, even your elbows, right? For boxing, you don't flare out your elbows, ma. You get what I mean? You're not like KFC chicken, like not you're not moving around.
Yeah.
Like you're tucking in your elbows close to your rib cage, right? You want to keep everything compact, keep everything tight, right? And that is because you want to train it into muscle memory, right? So even like for your boxing stance, your guard, right? Where you place your hands, where does your hands where does your hands stay when you are like moving around? Definitely you want to protect your the vital spots are your chin, right? Right. You want to keep your chin tucked. You want to put your hands close to your cheeks, right? You don't really want to look up. You don't want to expose your the pain points lah, the your Achilles heel, all those kind of thing lah, like your weak spots. Yeah, I would say.
I also think keeping it simple is like a beauty in itself, lah. Like
Mm,
I absolutely adore athletes who keep it simple.
mm.
I also watch football and I love it when they keep it simple. Just simple passes, no fancy tricks and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
It's the most
S-
efficient way, and you save a lot of energy that way.
Mm. I really feel that this concept of simplicity is universal in life, right? If you make any topic too overly complicated, right? It's gonna backfire on you if you don't have the foundations. Same thing as building a house. Yeah.
Yeah, completely agree. So
Mm,
if let's say someone who's starting out boxing and he or she is doing it at home, what is
yeah.
that one thing you would tell them to work on?
Oh, I see that one thing. I think this one thing, right, can only be practiced at home when you have someone who can like correct you, you get what I mean?
Yep, yep.
So whenever you think about boxing training and like what are the best ways to train at home, for example, to train outside of the gym lah. Right? I think hands down, right, for me, like in my opinion, and my coach has preached this many times also, where it's all about simulations, and shadow boxing is definitely going to be your go-to exercise, your go-to drill lah.
I
And the reason why I said that, you should correct your it should be like you should be supervised by a coach before you start shadowboxing is because if you work on, like, if your stance is wrong, if your gut is wrong, and you start shadowboxing on your own, you're gonna start drilling your you're gonna start drilling that muscle memory into your body, and if you don't do it right, it's gonna backfire in a sense where you're gonna build bad habits, and
Yeah,
that's a
it's
whole
harder to
lot.
unlearn something, right? It's harder to
Mm.
unlearn. It's easy
Yes, yes.
to learn from scratch and
Yeah. Like,
makes sense.
those boxers who come into the gym, they feel like, oh, they feel like I already have experience, I will do better than like the new guy. No, actually no, it's the opposite, because the new guy, right, is completely new to boxing. He has nothing to unlearn, right? The old guy, or like the guy with experience, right? He may have his own fair share of bad habits that he brought along the way. No one is perfect, ma. So it's harder for the old guy to unlearn, like you said, to unlearn and relearn, as compared to the new guy who just simply needs to learn the right way. Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
So what is one thing to avoid doing?
Ooh, one thing to avoid. I would say one thing to avoid doing, maybe with reference, like as in outside of the gym.
It could be in the gym also. Like if you were just starting out, what's one thing to absolutely avoid? You know?
Oh, okay. There are many things to avoid lah, but I would say, like, the one thing that comes, uh, the first thing that comes to my mind is just blindly throwing punches on the punching bag. It's so fun to hit. You go to like different places with punching bags. You just want to hit it, right? It's natural instinct to just punch the bag.
Yeah.
But if you just go to the gym just to punch the bag, right, it's not gonna be realistic application. Like punching the bag is it has its benefits. Back work has its benefits. But if you just punching the bag with no technique, with no proper technique, where like you don't really drill, you haven't really practiced it, and you just want to hit it for fun, you're not going to improve lah. Let's be real lah. Yeah.
Yeah, it should
You
be a complement to your
yeah,
routine.
yeah, it complement your training. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. So I think that's really like the maybe like not to dive into the back work straight away. Yeah.
mm, okay.
Learn your stance first, practice moving around first. Then maybe you can go practice on the back for a few rounds. But never sacrifice your stance and never see shadow boxing as a liability, like as a chore lah. Yeah. Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
well said. Okay. I think that has been quite insightful, and I think it's a nice point to wrap up. And we'll see all of you in the next one.
All right. Catch you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.